You've been told that sports unite us, that it's a fundamental part of human culture. But what if for some it's just noise? Today, we're diving deep into the minds of those who shrug at championships, who don't know a touchdown from a touche, and who genuinely couldn't care less about who wins the big game. We're going to explore the surprising reasons behind this often misunderstood mindset and what it tells us about the beautiful, complex landscape of human psychology. Get ready to uncover why the roar of the crowd simply falls on deaf ears for a significant portion of the population. For many, the world of sports is a vibrant tapestry of passion, loyalty, and exhilarating drama. It's a collective experience, a social glue, a primal outlet for tribal affiliation. We see it everywhere: fervent fans painting their faces, debating stats with religious zeal, and experiencing emotional highs and lows with every play. Given this widespread enthusiasm, it's easy to assume that everyone, on some level, shares this interest. But step into a different corner of society, and you'll find a fascinating group of individuals who view the entire spectacle with a polite, often bemused, indifference. They might enjoy the social gathering around a game, but the actual contest itself holds little to no personal significance. So, why are some brains just wired differently when it comes to sports? It's not about being unsocial or unengaged. Often, it comes down to a fascinating interplay of cognitive processing, personal values, and even the fundamental ways our brains allocate attention. Think of our brains as having a limited mental budget. Every bit of information, every potential interest vies for a slice of that budget. For some, sports simply don't make the cut. Their brains prioritize other kinds of information or stimuli. This isn't a deficit, it's a difference in internal filtering. One major psychological factor is the concept of attention economy. In our hyper-stimulated world, we're constantly bombarded with information. People who don't obsess over sports might have their attention intrinsically drawn to other domains, perhaps artistic expression, scientific discovery, technological innovation, or deep philosophical thought. They might spend their mental energy analyzing complex algorithms, composing music, or researching historical events, finding these pursuits far more intrinsically rewarding than the trajectory of a ball. Their reward pathways, the dopamine hits that drive our motivations, are simply triggered by different activities. A thrilling scientific breakthrough might give them the same rush a game-winning goal gives a fan. Then there's the angle of identity and values. For many fans, their team or sport becomes a core part of their identity. It's a badge of belonging, a source of pride, and a framework for understanding loyalty. But for non-fans, their sense of self is often built upon entirely different pillars. Their values might lean towards personal mastery, creative output, or global humanitarian efforts. For them, investing emotional energy into the outcome of a game, which is ultimately external to their core values and has no direct impact on their personal growth or contribution to the world, feels less meaningful. They might genuinely struggle to understand why others care so much. It's like asking a dedicated gardener why they aren't fascinated by stamp collecting. It's just not where their intrinsic joy resides. Consider also the role of early exposure and social learning. Often, our interests are shaped by our environment and the people around us during our formative years. If you grew up in a household or community where sports weren't emphasized, where conversations revolved around books, nature, or other hobbies, you might not develop the same neural pathways or emotional connections to sports. It's a bit like learning a language. If you're not exposed to it early and consistently, it remains foreign. Conversely, if you were actively discouraged or had negative experiences with sports, that can also create a lasting aversion. The challenge for those who don't obsess over sports often comes in social situations. In a world where sports conversations dominate water cooler chats and family gatherings, not caring can feel isolating, almost like speaking a different language. People often ask, "What's wrong with you?" Or, "How can you not care?" This isn't about being contrarian. It's about a different wiring, and sometimes a quiet discomfort with the emotional intensity that surrounds sports for others. They may feel pressured to feign interest or simply withdraw from conversations where they have nothing to contribute. This can lead to a sense of otherness or feeling misunderstood. But it's not just a lack of interest. For some, it can be an active dislike. The competitive aggression, the tribalism, or the perceived triviality of sports can be genuinely off-putting. For individuals who are highly empathetic, the intense rivalry and the sometimes negative fan behavior can create an internal friction that makes enjoying sports difficult. Or, for those with a strong focus on practical problem solving, the idea of grown adults dedicating so much energy to what appears to be an arbitrary contest can seem illogical. It's a spectrum of responses, from mild indifference to outright aversion. So, what does it all boil down to? It's not a deficiency or a lack of passion, but rather a fascinating divergence in how our brains are wired, how we allocate our precious attention, and what truly sparks our intrinsic motivation. The non-sports fan isn't missing out. They're simply tuned into a different frequency, finding their joy, meaning, and connection in a vast array of other human endeavors. Ultimately, whether you live and breathe sports or find it utterly bewildering, our differing interests reveal the beautiful complexity of the human mind. It's a reminder that passion comes in countless forms, and our individual paths to fulfillment are as unique as our fingerprints. If you found this exploration intriguing, you'll definitely want to check out our next video popping up right here.